All right, so I just got one of the copies of my new book, Oligarchs. And so it's been a while since I've done a book review. And so I thought this might be something worth bringing to your attention, even though it may not be too friendly on YouTube. But I thought I would shake things up a little bit and we'll dive into this and I'll give my 2 cents on this as well as share some thoughts on how books like this might be right on time to continue to wake up the masses as to what's really going on. So let's talk about this. All right. So as I mentioned, it's been a while since I've done a book review. So I have a couple books that I'm trying to work on. And so I pre-ordered this book and it just came in the mail. And so I'm looking forward to diving into it. And so having just thumbed through it a little bit, I got a chance to see at some of the things that Seamus Bruner is talking about in this book here. So what I want to do today is basically share my 2 cents on it, share with you some articles that caught my attention, which led me to buy this book. And of course, if you guys are interested in reading this book, I'm definitely gonna put a link to Amazon down there. And so it's no cost to you, but it'll be a blessing to the channel if you use the link. And so as more information about these puppets comes out, people begin waking up to the realization that there's a lot of evil people in this world that mean them harm. And of course, the primary focus of this one happened to be these 5 guys here. But then again, these 5 guys on the cover of this book are just the puppets. They're just second tier, maybe third tier puppets in a greater scheme of things, because we all know that there's principalities and powers that really oversee things, and it happens to be with a lot of families that don't get too much mention these days. So I'm not going to be long. Just want to share some headlines, and then of course I'm going to go through the book a little bit, give you something to think about. And if you're interested, definitely get the book. But I'll probably end up doing a follow-up video depending on how this turns out. But so far from what I see, and I like what I see. And it's a lot of the things we talked about on this channel. But I think it's interesting how one person decided to put all this information together and package it up in a neat little book and give it out to the world. So far, it's on Amazon. I even saw one mainstream interview with Mr. Brunner. So we'll see how long this book remains available and if it even have any impact whatsoever. So let's dive into the headline real quick. So as you can see on the screen right here, we got Bill Gates' business associates reach combined $365 million settlement with Jeffrey Epstein's victims. And of course, this is from Mr. Brunner here. And I thought this was interesting just because this is a new article. And it just talks about the settlement as how the big banks always get a chance to settle with no one getting jail time, no one admitting to any crimes other than just funneling funds, pennies drops on a dime to the victims. And then things get swept under the rug. And so it says here, on Thursday, federal judge approved $290 million settlement of a class action lawsuit brought by the sex abuse victims of Epstein against J.P. Morgan Chase, a close mutual business associate of both Gates and Epstein. And so here you got another picture of the cover here, just very telling as to what is really going on behind the scenes. And then the next article here, it says, Bill Gates has already spent over $1 billion to control the U.S. food supply chain with patented fertilizers, fake meat, and massive farmland purchases. And of course, this is all predicated around this Agenda 2030. And I've talked about this before, but the Sustainable Development Goals are not really what they're being sold. And so here's just more promotional material for the book Controligarchs. But it's interesting how he's calling out Bill Gates and he's not holding any punches, it seems. And of course, we talked about all this before, about how basically Bill Gates bought up the country. And then lastly here, this is actually the Amazon page here. So it says I purchased mine or pre-ordered it on November 10th. And then when I was doing a scrolling through, just seeing some of the summaries from people who've already dived into it, just because it's arriving at people's houses within the last day or two. But just so far, the reviews appear to be very good. So we got somebody here says, can't put it down. Just received it in the mail halfway through already. I can't put it down. Do you want to know what your life will be like in 6 years from now? Look no further. This is one of the most thought-provoking books I've ever read. The vectors of sovereignty and intention is an increasingly critical topic to address, while the temporary way of life is abundant in convenience. This is a fantastically well-written, beautiful layout, yada, yada, yada. So there you guys have it. Just some of the keywords that people are talking about from Amazon and some of the headlines that caught my attention, which led me to purchase the book. So as I said, just thumbing through it, it definitely has a lot of stats and facts, things worth paying attention to. So we'll see more about that. But real quick, let's dive into it. So, all right, so here we have the copy of Controligarchs, exposing the billionaire class, their secret deals, and the globalist plot to dominate your life. So it's somewhat of a thick book. It has, pretty nice thus far. I had a chance to thumb through it. Got a lot of interesting concepts in here shared. Basically trying to expose these 5 guys here, but as I mentioned, they're just the strings. They're not the fingers, really. They're the ones that's been allowed to accumulate large amounts of wealth. They've appeared to be the 5 individuals that's not touchable by the government, or our government chooses to ignore them and yada, yada, yada. But anyway, won't be long. Just want to thumb through this real quick. Get your guys' thoughts on that. So share with you the table of contents. It says exposing the billionaires. There we go. The Good Club. We got the Gates of Hell. We got the Great Reset. We got the Power Grab. We got the War on Farmers. We got the Open Society Scheme. Follow the money. Okay, that's where it always starts at. It says we got mainstream mind control, the dystopian present. We got the end game. So real quick, just thumb through it real quick. Share with you some key sub chapters in here, and a lot of things caught my attention here. Viruses and vaccines, a business model. Okay. What else we got here? This is how you can just get a quick read. It says cleansing populations through birth control. Okay, we've seen how that's worked out thus far. Your body, the Rockefeller's choice. Okay. What else we got here? Keep it moving. The gates of hell. That's an interesting chapter there. It says curing the disease of their overpopulation ills. Yep. A product of corporate attorney. Philanthropy as a PR strategy. 59 pages in. The Nazi Road to World Citizenship. Klaus Schwab. Okay, that's his beginning. It's his beginning story. And his goal to have digital identification and everything else. Geneva, Switzerland. The epicenter of all evil. World Economic Forum champions a death to democracy. World Economic Forum, Rockefeller, and the persistent overpopulation myth. Okay. The evolving agenda to use crises for control. Stakeholder capitalism or crony fascism. Okay. Credit score, social credit score, the woke investing ESG scheme. Okay. Penetrating the world, how Schwab groomed political elites. Yeah, I wonder if you give any names of politicians in here. It says, today, Charles Schwab young leaders. The young leaders are among the most powerful people in the world. Facebook's Zuckerberg, Palantir's Peter Thiel, Wiki founder, Jimmy Wales, Rockefeller Foundation president, Rajiv Shah, YouTube co-founder, Chad Hurley. Okay, a couple people working on behalf of the enemy. So we got some information about the health situation there. Can't say that. We got the health situation. I'll let you guys read that. Keeping it moving, the power grab. What else we got here? How oil kings create a climate panic for profit. The more pain, the more profit. Not for us, but for them. Gates' big green payday. Climate savers. The gas and coal oil men behind the curtain. All right. What else we got? Let's skip a chapter or two. Let's go skip it a little bit. Fake dairy, fake eggs, and fake breast milk. No, that's all Bill Gates. The cyber pandemic war game. Open society indoctrination. The Soros justice warriors. All the special think tanks and entities that he's purchased with his bread. Follow the money. Let's see if we get some figures in here. The cyber pandemic, I said that already. Oh, here's a good one. Central bank digital currencies versus decentralized cryptocurrency. FTX. We got the ledgers encrypted. What else we got here? FTX. I saw something I was reading earlier about Sam Bankman-Fried. Says FTX founder, a 30-year-old billionaire named Sam Bankman fraud. Calls him out a little bit. BlackRock pushes digital currency and digital ID. Digital ID tracking your every move. Mainstream mind control. Propaganda drives a war machine. Interesting subtitles, I must admit. CIA, FBI, and the TV spies who lie. The dystopian present. Final revolution. We got World Economic Forum thought leader Yuval Noah Harari's vision for the future. We heard about that. The transhuman hellscape. Exploiting tech addiction. Ghost in the machines. Democracy's death by fortification. The end game. What is the end game? Zero, that word, communism through the back door. The naked communists. What do we got here? 20 of the communists' 45 goals are worth reprinting to demonstrate how just much the global movement has achieved. We got 45 goals, but I see 20 printed right here. It says China one-child policy was a Controligarch priority. All right, so there we have it. 250 or so pages of information about these individuals right here. The 5 strings that are being used by the upper powers that be. Anyway, just something worth thinking about. If you guys are interested, you see what's inside. So there you have it. Quick little run through of the book. Definitely something I'll be reading in the next couple of days or so. And it's actually kind of fun getting a chance to just thumb through it real quick, familiarizing myself with what's inside. And I'm sure definitely going to be well worth the reading. But just want to take a quick minute, share with you what's going on, share with you what I'm doing behind the scenes. And if it's of interest to you, go ahead and get you a copy. And we'll probably talk about this on a live stream or something like that in days ahead. But other than that, curious to hear what you guys think. Do you want more of these little quick little reviews or whatnot? Because there's a lot of things behind the scenes that I buy and invest in that I don't get a chance to talk about just because I don't want to, be shielding everything. But anyway, just thought I would bring it to you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Peace.